Welcome back to our update. My mum's come round to look after the kids for a little while I can do this. We're going to try and go back to what we were looking at. But bear with me, pulling back all this data. Going to historically go back in time. One thing that's becoming really obvious is the need for some really key support and resistance lines. So over here we've got a resistance line that we see this pin bar coming from, and if we look at the stochastics and the RSI indicator, we do have the setup that we're looking for to go short. So this is quite a nice clinical position. We come into the Ichimoku cloud and we could take profit here. It's quite a nice little move there for us. So we're just trying to anticipate the moves of the currency at any one time, and we're hoping that by looking at the indicators they'll give us really confirmation of when to go in and confirmation of when not to go in, and we're going to try and go from the extreme point. So coming up here, we're heading up to the 8% mark on both indicators. We can see there's been an upward trend. It's fixed out and it's continued up. A couple of indecision candles. So the question is, at what point are we going to wait for this trade? So we notice this blue line is jumping backwards and forwards. So already it's not safe to go into any trade right now. This flattened lines, the orange and the red line, is also not a safe position for us to go in. Even though that point there, the blue line is moving away, we may have wanted to go into a trade if we wanted to, but it's still not safe because that could just easily turn around and go back. If we did go into the trade, okay, fine, we would have got a little move there. However, the blue line is now coming back because there's some resistance point here, or there's a support here that's creating some kind of resistance to the downward trend, and we can see that this is not playing out quite nicely, and we're bouncing off the Ichimoku cloud. There's rising up. This signal here confirms what we see in price action. There's an upward move here. However, it's met with a rejection. So I wouldn't trade them. I would look for a better trade setup. Now here, again, the lines are converging. It's still not a great position. Even though this is a moving up, and that's great, we're not able to confirm that this is a decent trade. At this point here, the orange line is now moving down from past. There's a crossover here, and there's a nice gap here between the blue and the orange and red line. So there may be a potential there to go short. We should be mindful that there is a support line here. So if we're shorting, where are we shorting to? We're shorting to a resistance or a support line. It's not the best trade, to be honest. So this might give us early indication that we should be getting ready for a bounce off of that line, or even a temporary pass over and bounce back. So my thing would be to watch this to see what happens. There we go. There's the move down to the line, and what's happening here, we're either going to break through or we're going to break up. We're having a look at this to see exactly what happens. We're breaking through, there's resistance, there's a bullish candle here. There is also another line that we're just about to see now, is another support line. So I'm guessing that's going to bounce off this one, come past this line and upwards and continue on here. So I would actually be interested in some kind of trade here with a stop loss below this line in order to go up. And that's exactly what we've done. So if our stop loss was below this line, we're now in a trade. It might bounce back off here and then continue up. And that's exactly what we've just predicted, that behaviour there. And that ain't a bad position to be in. If we've already come in here and we're up here and we've got two lines here that could offer protection against any stop loss, and we look and the blue line is on its way up, the orange line is on its way up, and the red line's down here, that is quite a good position to be in. We're hoping it to increase, we'd stay in the trade. There's a bit of resistance there. Now there's a couple of indecision candles. This is now moving and thinning out. I'd probably take either drop out and take the profit, or keep it at break even and just see what happens with it. So if you were to do that, you can see another move up there. I'd still, if I'd continued in the trade here, I'd still leave it in there, even though there's a rejection there. And the blue line crossing the red, it is definitely time to get out, and potentially a lower move here. Although there is a bounce off of this average, the Ichimoku Keishin Sen, and there's an up move there followed by a down move. So it's still a good trade to take. Remember, we came in from here. You could stick it out and get that run. That's quite a nice move from here. That's like a 326 pip move in 2.5 days. That's not bad at all. So to get some context on this, there could have been a £40 to £50 risk on that. And an £800 profit target. If you were just wanting to leave it and you set up something. This is a great trade. Let's have a look at this. What if we put a one lot trade on? Maximum was 0.98, it's fine. Okay, £100 risk, £1,800 profit. Now that risk reward ratio is amazing. Even on the quick profit margin, 100 quid profit, 100 quid risk, £800 profit, that's in the same day. So this is the sort of thing we're talking about when we're trying to profit from trading and making those trading decisions. And that's all to do with taking in the confluence of the RSI and the stochastics. There's an Ichimoku chart there. And we've got support and resistance lines. This is the way to do it based on this price action strategy. We've also got the harmonic patterns that will give us other indicators, but we'll come to that another time when we've got the machine running up, because at the moment it's not working, waiting on the motherboard replacement. So that's just to put that into perspective. Okay, now here at this point we know that this is moving up, there's a crossover. Do we wait for the pullback before going in? Yeah. At that point there though, I would favour jumping into it, even though it's gone down. I think that's a pullback, and I'll probably want to enter trade. Although there's no support line here, we know there's one up there. We zoom out. there is one here, so we could potentially be planning to bounce off this, but we broke through there, so maybe I would wait for the next candle. And actually this is the live trade now, so I'm looking to put this type of trade on. Let me just show you what it is. Right, that's gone up, down, up, down, up, down. There's probably definitely going to be a rise up there. And we can keep the stop loss quite tight. If we're going for a bigger slice of action, we go below the two lines here, and then we want the price action ratios. We'll be looking to pass through those lines and potentially take profit up here. There's quite a lot of stuff it needs to go through. That's one thing I'd be potentially looking at on there. Okay, again this one's it's come round, it's gone back. It, depending on where this ends up, this could be pushing down. So okay, so it's broke this, it's come back up for retest, it might go back out. So the moment it's going back out, if these are up here somewhere, and this is looking like a good bearish trade, now we zoom out, we've got a lot of room there to take our trade against. So obviously the trade would look a bit like this. Let's just zoom in and fix it up a bit. So bearing in mind that's going to be over that line there, the sell is coming I'd say around there. Okay, there's a small line cross there for a quick profit. So for £192 risk, roughly, we'll be trying to go for the 1200 level potentially, or somewhere nearabouts there. So there's been this downward move here. There's been a bit of resistance. It looks like it's going to continue down potentially, based on that last analysis. So GBP CHF is one to watch for, especially against this resistance line. So tonight, when it starts off about 11:30 at night, we'll have a little look at where the indicator is, although I might be sleeping. I could put actually a trade on that will activate. So tonight at 10:30 when the market opens, I could probably signal to buy when it crosses over, and then I'll be in the trade by the time I wake up in the morning. So that's quite a nice one to look at now. This one here, too risky. We are bouncing off it, but there's not a lot of movement there. These big fixed lines are quite nice. We're moving through the cloud. We could be seeing a bounce off one of these lines, and in an upward move. So if we go up, come back down, retest somewhere around there. There could be a couple of attempts before rising up. That's another one to look at. So there has been a downward. This could be actually part of a reversal, although there's no guarantee. But yeah, there's a lot of market structure lines there to look at to work out potential trades. Can't move there, bang. Don't really want to entertain that. It's looking favourable for an uptrend, but it's not a lot of movement there. That's still moving up a bit. There's still a little bit more room to grow before it comes down by the looks of it. It's coming down. Yeah, I'll have to wait for that. The question here really is what happens with this blue line. Is it going to drop down or is it going to come up? There's definitely enough movement in that trade, and we've got some support lines here. So we've broke through, we've come around to retest, it hasn't come back down. Yeah, so this is where these lines are really important. And come back down, bounced off it. Let's see these lines here, look at that. And look how nice they are. So at the moment, if that was to move up and they go like that, that's going up the way, and I'd be entering the trade to take profit up here. Resistance lines are either here or here, depends how confident you are. But I'll be looking at entering a trade. That sort of trade, risking 90, gaining 550. These are all really clever trades to go for. Obviously, if you're watching it and that seems to be going the other direction, you're going to go for that there. This one has got my attention. This could be going downtrend, even though this could be a little pullback before continuing down. So, and if it is going down, this part side of the cloud, that could be a nice, real big run on that. Although this signal here is actually going up. So yeah, so it's basically a retest. It's come further down than full. It's a false breakout. But I'll be looking to, this is the trade I'm going to be looking at taking on here. Right, now let me talk you through this trade. Right, this trade is assuming that we're going to go past that support line, and this is if we zoom out, we've got an uptrend here and a downtrend, but it hasn't broke as low as here, so we're still in an uptrend really, and I'll be looking at that going up and hitting these previous. See, even though from here to here there was a downtrend, from here to here there's not. And this indicator here is just telling us that it may be going up. So I'll be looking to take that kind of trade on something like this. There's no guarantee, obviously, this could just suddenly turn around and come back down. But these are the kind of setups I'll be looking to take over the course of the next few weeks and so. Also, this one bounced off, it's come down, retested, could be on the way up. That's quite a big move there. Definitely potential for, well, I'll probably wait based on that indicator. Yeah, got some nice lines here. See the retest, gone up. So that might bounce off here and then go up at some point. So be watching that, watching this, seeing if it comes to here, and by the time it develops, is it going to be bouncing off the cloud? Yeah, at the moment it's just this is bearish. It's not a great signal, but I'll probably watch it because there's this little point here. Yeah, it's not a great trade. Let's do one more. Let's do USD CAD. So there's a massive downward trend there. You can see it's starting to pick up to go the other way. And we're heading into a nice big thick support line. So potentially, yeah, look, I'd be saying, well, I didn't know. I'd be saying wait until we hit that, and then we'd be watching it to see where we are. So that obviously is indicating upward trend. It might come down and retest, and then we're kind of like, there's the retest almost coming here. Potentially, there you go, that's the retest I was looking for. And then, yeah, so this is looking favourable for it to go beyond now, or to hit off there and go down. So this is where we'd be looking at the next thing that happens. It still hasn't technically, that's it. So this is the area I'll be looking at to try and get the confluence on the signals. It's not there yet, that's kind of going up here. And I think that was where it's starting to become interesting on a short, although you've got this line. Yeah, so you've got this move down here all the way through these, and then at this point that is a bullish signal, and again bang up to there. going down, I wouldn't be in the trade at the moment. Be waiting. So I'll probably wait for that to finish before deciding what to do there. So I hope you like the quick analysis. This is just a quick breakdown. Support and resistance lines are really, really important, as is the curvature and the actual distance between the lines and exactly what they're doing. If we learn to read all this, we should be able to make really, really good, well-balanced trades.